it feels like to drive 155 miles per hour on a public highway. It's surreal, more like flying than driving.
At these speeds, there's no margin for error. Even the slightest mistake can be catastrophic.
But this is the Autobahn. And here in Germany, driving like this is not only legal, it's considered a national birthright.
It's one reason Germany has created some of the world's fastest and most remarkable cars, including the one I'm driving right now. It wears the blue and white logo of one of the most successful, envied, and copied companies in history, BMW. And it's a company we'll take you inside next.
I'm Carl Quintanilla, and this is BMW, a driving obsession. Munich, the vibrant hub of Germany's south, is one of Europe's most cosmopolitan cities. Tourists are drawn to its history, beer, and cars. On the north end of town is the headquarters of Bavarian Motor Works, BMW. And right next door is the BMW Welt, or World, the ultimate showcase for the car the company calls the ultimate driving machine. For fans, it's a high-octane stew. Whether they're curious about the company's early products, into car culture, or, like Phil and Pam Palisol, they've traveled over 6,000 miles to pick up their new Bimmer.
My name is Palisol.
They bought their car from a dealer back in San Diego, but BMW's European delivery program gives them a chance to tour the company's high-tech home before picking up their new sedan.
Now, all these facilities that we see here are state-of-the-art, the most modern on the market.
It's just so futuristic. It's amazing how clean it is.
BMW makes it a day-long affair, a kaleidoscopic immersion in BMW production, engineering, and innovation. For those who can't wait to see their new set of wheels and like a little anticipation, it fits the bill.
Now let's leave the plant. We're heading back to the BMW Welt.
They do know how to build up the suspense here, don't they? What have you been thinking this whole afternoon?
When do we get to see that car?
Do you think of the brand differently maybe now?
It just is very friendly and open, and gosh, now you're one of the team here, and that kind of feeling that makes you go, yeah, I'm part of the team.
You feel like you had a little Kool-Aid today?
Maybe.
Because they're serving it.
My name is Ulrike.
Nothing about the Palisol's experience is an accident. Their entire day here has been carefully engineered into a kind of theater, like everything BMW does, with an attention to detail and design. You can see it in its architecture, in its cars, and in the way it's chosen to grow. At BMW, it's all about engineering, tightly meshed with design. That results in cars loved by people for whom driving itself is a pastime, according to Csaba Cheta.
They've actually packaged a good back seat.
He's the former editor of Car and Driver magazine.
The best driving machine means that it's sporty, that it's fast, that it has steering that as you're going around a corner and you hit a bump, it actually kicks back and you feel what's happening. Most cars aren't that way.
Cheta believes that's the key to BMW's popularity.
For 20 or 30 years, they've largely delivered on the ultimate driving machine as a brand statement.
Really? So
absolutely.
It's effective marketing.
Well, it's more than effective marketing. It's actually what they do. I think if you work at BMW in any capacity and you've got a decision to make, you can sit there and say, we're the ultimate driving machine. Which one of these decisions is going to advance that objective?
95,000 employees work for BMW in 15 countries. In Germany, they've made more than 2 million motorcycles in addition to cars. In England, the company owns 2 other brands. They make Mini, the sporty car that began life as a British economy model, and Rolls-Royce, a car at the high end of luxury with a price tag to match. BMW has decided that no matter the price, marketing segment, or number of wheels, the products they make, they say, will be premium vehicles that are fun to drive. But getting there requires a bit of fixation.
You know, there's parts of BMWs where, in fact, the basic design of the component is not extraordinary, but the way it works is extraordinary. And that goes down to the guys who spend the time driving the cars on the test tracks and the rough roads and trying out 7,000 shock absorber combinations until they get the one that works perfectly.
I think this is something that sets BMW still apart. Never disappoint.
Uwe Ellinghaus, the director of brand management for BMW, admits they can go overboard in their attention to detail.
Is there something about German car makers, and specifically BMW, that is a little mad?
Boy, this is a difficult question to answer. I wouldn't want to say mad, but clearly there is a certain level of over-engineering that we have, where we pay so much attention to detail that we might even get lost sometimes and overdo things. We once found out that, for example, some of our pedals are painted 4 or 5 times. That's a couple of years ago. And we asked what's the difference by doing it only 2 times or 3 times, and nobody could really tell.
In many ways, I think they are over-engineered.
David Champion is director of automobile testing for the nonprofit Consumer Reports. He pays close attention to BMW's engineering.
It's not bad.
130.
And he's not always a fan.
Those simple things like just tuning the radio or finding a radio station or manually tuning is sort of like a 5-step process to try and get through. And that sort of complexity, I think, is very annoying.
Champion admits BMWs can be great cars to drive, but he says the company's technical prowess hasn't cured the cars of some significant reliability issues.
Maybe part of this is just the nature of the beast. It's a highly engineered car. No.
No, you know, we see Lexus, Infiniti, Acura, all competing in that same marketplace, and they all have better reliability.
Welcome to the BMW Group press conference.
Whatever BMW's problems, they're apparently not hurting sales. In 2010, the BMW Group dominated the premium car market, selling more than 1.2 million luxury cars worldwide. But its competitors aren't standing still. Audi, the number 3 brand behind Mercedes, has brashly declared that by mid-decade, it will take over BMW's number 1 spot.
By 2015, we would be the most sought-after premium automotive brand in the world.
At the Detroit Auto Show, BMW's head of sales and marketing, Ian Robertson, said he didn't feel threatened.
Talk to me about Audi's bluster.
As far as I'm aware, if you look at the numbers, they speak for themselves.
Audi does seem to be treading common ground in the way it markets its models. BMW's 3, 5, and 7 series, matched by Audi's A4, A6, and A8. Is it imitation? Robertson has a stronger word for it.
Well, they say that, you know, plagiarism is the sincerest form of flattery. There does appear to be some sort of looking over our shoulder.
Looking ahead, BMW may have the most to fear from its own success. If you're an exclusive luxury brand and drivers begin to see your cars everywhere, how exclusive are you really? Ellinghaus says he's not worried.
More and more customers say, as long as this brand appeals to me, as long as this product is right, I don't care how many people in my neighborhood are able to afford this car.
As for the Palisols, they have no concern about the brand's appeal. They're just eager to see their car.
Do you want to see it in person?
I do want to see it in person, yeah.
Okay.
Phil, let's go.
All right, let's go.
BMW makes sure the moment is memorable. A triumphant walk.
Uh-huh.
And there it is.
No.
A viewing from above, their car revolving in imperial blue splendor.
You like it, Pam?
I guess. When he stood there and looked at it, it was just sort of one of those moments where you just want to kind of capture and hold on to the the moment because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
And now it's an old car. Once he drives it out of here, it's a used car, right?
Thank you very much, Ulrika.
6 hours after their day began, the car is officially theirs. A celebratory lap around the inside of the BMW Welt, and the Palisols head off, proud owners of a now slightly used German-engineered BMW. Their car is the culmination of countless calculations and decisions, down to the smallest detail.
These tiny sounds, when I press a button, they are maybe 100 milliseconds long.
Bells and whistles, BMW style, when we come back. You may want to cover your eyes. BMW is about to destroy an $85,000 car. They do it with every model, so its engineers can assess the damage, make sure safety devices deploy correctly, and come up with fixes if they don't. All the measurement and analysis, all the destruction, is part of BMW's quest for the premium in premium cars, a quest that begins here.
A few blocks from BMW's headquarters is the FITS, its research and development center, where researchers tweak and you might say obsess over what makes a premium car. It's highly secretive. In a world where companies use the words behind closed doors, these are the doors.
Once inside those doors, there are more doors, intended to put a high-tech crimp in any corporate espionage. If BMW's factories are the muscle of the company, these 80 acres are its soul, where they try to enhance each car's performance, style, even its sounds.
People hear it, they hear something, and they look on the display. But then again, it's not very pretty, and it might get annoying after a while.
Imar Fecht is a sound designer, creating the beeps and chimes that alert us to unbuckled seatbelts, open doors, and engine failures.
Can you play it again? Right, that is annoying.
Yes, and after a few more times, it's even more annoying. But I could change the character of the sound, and now it gets more interesting.
Imar Fecht and the sound designer's team leader, Dr. Fabian Evert, tailor-make their sounds.
What's an example of something that would work in a Mini, but never in a Rolls?
The current Mini sound for this same check control event sounds like this. And when you compare this to the BMW sound, you can almost directly translate the qualities of the car into the sound.
Let me hear the Mini one more time.
It's short and snappy. It's almost cheerful, whereas the BMW is longer, it's more stretched, it's more classical in a way.
It seems like this process could take 10 minutes. Does it not work like that?
No, it doesn't work like that. I think in order to do something that really fits with the car and with the product, you have to understand all the other acoustic feedbacks that you have within the car. Yeah, it should be like a good orchestra.
The 30 sound technicians conducting that orchestra work among 10,000 other employees in the FITS. They're responsible for the look and performance of the BMW models, as well as the two other brands owned by the company, Mini and Rolls-Royce. Although BMW's principal competitors, Audi and Mercedes, do their own exhaustive testing and design, BMW claims its efforts go a bit further. They're nothing if not scientific about it.
Sometimes we make EMG measurement. That means we measure the tension of the muscles.
Matthias Franz is a seat comfort engineer. He gave me a ride on a simulator he uses for his experiments.
You can measure how tense muscles are?
That's right. That's electromyographic measurement.
Like so many others in the FITS, Franz is a PhD. In his lab, comfort isn't a subjective thing. He can measure the pressure of your rear end to make sure you're comfortable objectively.
It's really good because there are no red spots at the moment.
Do people say to you, look, I mean, it's nice, all this is nice, but it's a seat. Why hire people who've studied physiology like you have?
We have to implement medical knowledge into the seat designing process because we want to make sure that our customers feel healthy. It's very important to have a good seat comfort.
BMW engineers used to travel all the way to Sweden to test cars in frigid weather. Today, the weather comes to them thanks to 6 new wind tunnels, one of which makes snow and creates gusts up to 155 miles an hour.
It's 73 degrees in Munich, but you'd never know it in here. It's 4 degrees. By creating these conditions, BMW can test the limits of this 6 Series, saving time and money. Oh my God.
The Tech Center, which attracts 200,000 resumes a year, has recently been called on to overcome some of the company's knottiest engineering challenges. In the face of tough European pollution standards and consumer demand for fuel efficiency, BMW is creating a new sub-brand.
Our answer is the BMW i3 and the BMW i8 and future i-cars of BMW.
CEO Norbert Reithofer is overseeing BMW's latest obsession, creating the electric i3 and the hybrid i8. Although environmentally friendly cars don't have a reputation for being fun to drive, BMW thinks it can change that.
You don't believe that consumers will have to give anything up?
No, I don't think so. Even if you think about a BMW i3, it will be a real BMW. And of course, it will accelerate like a real BMW if you hit the pedal. The customers will even say in 10 years, yes, that is an ultimate driving machine.
The engineers here say their single-minded approach isn't obsession for obsession's sake. They think the results of their work are felt by drivers, whether they know it or not.
You were telling me earlier, tweaking the sound is like looking at a tiny little dot.
Yes, like a jeweler, just these tiny sounds. When I press a button, they are maybe 100 milliseconds long. That's all.
You have to work on that?
I designed this sound. Now, do you want it to be like this? Or like this? It's such a tiny change.
And you might end up listening to that
2,000 times.
2,000 times.
A day, maybe.
A day?
Yes.
I think the funny thing is, if we look at these tiny things, you could say, hey, come on, it's not even a second.
You must hear that from some people.
These things you couldn't even name are the most important in the end. That makes the difference between dislike, like, or love a product. But why they really love it, I think it's because the designers gave all their love to all these little tiny things.
And if you're wondering what's love got to do with it, wait till you meet the people who labor over the look of BMW cars.
We want our cars to look like they're moving even when they're standing still.
Winning by design when we come back. Roundels and rounded headlights, Hofmeister kinks and kidney grills. These car parts may not sound familiar, but you know them when you see them, even when they're zooming past at high speed. They're signature design cues on BMWs, each one helping the car stand out from the crowd. At least that's what this man hopes.
This is a project that the whole design team loves to get involved in.
Adrian van Hooijdonk is chief of design for the BMW Group, and he says these elements help define the BMW brand, like the kidney grill, which has been a design staple since its first appearance in 1933.
It just helps make our cars very recognizable.
In an instant.
In an instant, exactly. Blink of an eye, or in the rear view mirror. That is very important to us, that you see that there's a BMW coming.
A grille is a pretty obvious design feature, but every line, trim, and surface, both inside and outside the car, is calculated precisely.
It doesn't just need to express beauty. Of course, that's another goal of ours. But it should entice people to come up close and even one day make a test drive and, of course, buy the product.
Another BMW design goal is to suggest movement. Crucial for a company that identifies itself as a maker of drivers' cars.
We make sure that every BMW is designed in such a way that is very clear in which direction it will move. Sounds logical, but not every car is designed that way. And it's also shown that this car is probably engineered to move quite fast. One element that does this is this feature line. When you follow this towards the rear, you see the shadow underneath this line.
It's a line of shadow that gets narrower as the car goes back.
It's almost like the tail of a comet. It's done for this purpose, to give the car a clear direction in which it's moving, even while it's standing still.
The brand's most famous design elements were developed here, inside the company's Munich studio. Few cameras have been inside, but we were given access to look at the process that begins 3 years before a new BMW hits the showroom floor. First, BMW stages a sketch competition among its 450 designers in Munich, Los Angeles, and Singapore, laying out very simple guidelines for the next model in the pipeline.
When you talk about the front of a car, you often talk about a face.
Lead exterior designer Karim Habib says they relate elements of a car to parts of the human body, like when he compares fenders to quadriceps.
We create a volume over the rear wheel, and that is actually, it's literally looks, feels, and acts, if you will, like a muscle.
Sort of the, I don't know, the way an athlete's leg muscles.
Absolutely.
The source of his power.
Absolutely. And a lot of times it's part of our inspiration. We often talk about sort of an athlete in a suit, and that character has a lot to do with what BMW stands for.
Designers like Christian Bauer are given the freedom to interpret the guidelines using whatever might spark their imaginations.
What's an example of a really good, really interesting inspiration for you?
The design or the appearance of Apple products.
Apple products?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look what is cool for everyone and what is hip.
Next, designers pitch their ideas to the management team.
As a big presentation, everyone puts the sketches and the general ideas on the wall in a big studio over there, and everyone presents what the goal was for his design.
Roughly 4 ideas are chosen to move on to the next phase, where computer images and life-size clay models are generated from the sketches, all of it scrutinized by Van Hooydonk.
We want to look at it one-to-one, and sometimes we want to actually touch the shape, because the hand is even more perceptive to surface change than the eye. In this way we can control the shapes that we have developed to the finest details.
Your hands see better than your eyes.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I guess if you make a mistake, you've got extra clay, right?
You give it a bit of curvature and then pull it down with a bit more force.
Wow, that is not as easy as it looks.
The clay model is scanned and updated regularly on computers, so engineers can test and develop in tandem with the designers.
So while the designer is still creating with the model maker the shape, we are already sending data to the engineers so they can test aerodynamics or feasibility in metal and give us feedback.
The management team whittles down the 4 designs to the final 2, which go before BMW's board of directors. One is chosen to become the next BMW. Then it's up to engineers and factory workers to turn all the chosen design elements into plastics, wood, and metal.
Perhaps no element of the car's design is more critical than this, the BMW logo. Here on the production line, about 50 yards before they turn on the engine, they place it on the hood, and with one hit, it's a BMW car. I would imagine the first time you see your design built and you think about the amount of money and commitment and labor that went into turning this into metal, I mean, that's got to make you want to cry.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not going to say on television that I got teary-eyed, but actually I did, yeah. Yeah, no, it is definitely very emotional for every designer. It's often a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
The design process is as exciting as it is stressful. Adrian van Hooijdonk knows the pressure well. 10 years after beginning his career at BMW, he penned the lines for a controversial 7 Series under then design chief Chris Bangle. Although the car was blasted by reviewers who dubbed the large back end the Bangle butt, it broke sales records and profoundly influenced car design for years. Van Hooijdonk admits designing for the future can be a chess game.
You're designing cars that won't be on the market for 3 years, and they're going to be on the market 10 years from now. How do you make sure they're not going to be like we look at our father's ties? You know, how do you know they're still going to be culturally relevant, visually relevant?
Well, first of all, I don't wear ties, as you might have noticed, so I stay out of that trouble. But, okay, and this is, of course, the most difficult part of my job. I can never be 100% sure, but I think as a designer and as a design team, we have very fine antenna for what is going to happen in the future. We are in touch with other industries as well, and from that we slowly gather what people might want to do in their lives in 3 to 5 years from now, what other products will be surrounding us, and this is all a basis for the choices that our customers are going to make in the future.
Redesigning a BMW is challenging enough. Imagine doing it for the company's most exclusive brand and the world's most demanding buyers.
We've done a couple of cars for customers with a white leather floor.
A white leather floor.
A white leather floor.
$1 million in motion when we return. It may be the most precious gem in BMW's crown, Rolls-Royce. A vehicle of choice for the world's wealthiest, with a price tag only they can afford. It's been the carriage of royalty, sheikhs, and stars. And yet each Rolls gets its start worlds away from the red carpet. 60 miles outside of London, amid the rolling hills, frolicking cows, and grazing sheep, you'll find Rolls-Royce headquarters in the bucolic village of Goodwood, England. Here, craftsmen mold, stretch, carve, and press to make sure that each car is the epitome of luxury.
What you want to be able to do with a Rolls-Royce is to look in and to actually see the character of the grain.
Andrew Monahan oversees the leather department, where skilled artisans labor over acres of massive hides.
You can actually see the hair follicles where the hair came out of the leather to start with. It's as near to the natural skin as you can possibly get. That's the quality that you buy when you buy a Rolls-Royce. Quite often what you see in other, let's say, cheaper motor vehicles is that they would copy these types of grains and they would put them onto a printing press.
It's a printout, basically.
It's a printout. If you think about a painting in a gallery, this is the original Picasso. The other one that's in the standard automotive, well, that's the print that you get for $9.99 when you go to the visitor's shop.
Monahan is one of 800 employees at this plant that doesn't look or sound like a typical car factory. No robots, no flying sparks. It's as quiet as a library as the workers diligently and meticulously assemble one of the world's finest automobiles, all by hand. Coming together bit by bit, piece by piece. From the dashboards to the doors. From the tiniest screws to the mammoth V12 engine. The cars are pulled and pushed from station to station. It's a process that can take up to 9 months. The customer puts down his money and then waits patiently as his car is handcrafted to reflect his sometimes quirky but often expensive desires, like built-in wine coolers and picnic baskets with intricate and elaborate designs created to suit their own personal taste.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. Somebody asked for this.
Somebody asked for this, absolutely. Now, we have many, many customers like that, and what they're looking to do is to make every car unique to them. That's what they're looking for. It's an expression of their personality.
For Rolls-Royce, the bespoke or custom-made elements of the car are not limited to leather. Peter Guest oversees the paint shop, where there are 40,000 colors to choose from, including 13 shades of black.
Midnight black, diamond black, sapphire, Rhapsody black, Cosmos black, Astro black, Infinity black. We had a problem with one colour that was called Autumn Mystery Black, and it became known as Autumn Misery Black.
Misery Black.
Yeah, it was a very tricky colour to get right.
Getting it right is mandatory at Rolls-Royce, no matter the request.
We even had one guy wanted us to match his dog.
Match his dog?
Match his English red setter. Matched his dog.
Satisfying the wildest dreams of customers past and present has been limited only by what the buyer is willing to spend.
Especially for Rolls-Royce customers, they would like to have freedom to decide what should the leather look like, the wood inside the car.
Dr. Norbert Reithofer, chairman and CEO of the BMW Group, says Rolls-Royce customers are in a class by themselves.
A lot of them, they have Gulfstreams, they have ships, they have 15, 20 cars, and they can buy a Rolls-Royce as well.
Rolls-Royce doesn't offer financing, and with the sticker price for a high-end Rolls starting at $350,000, the final tab can easily reach 7 figures. While $1 million may sound like a lot for a car, in 1998, BMW paid the bargain basement price of $66 million for the rights to the Rolls-Royce name and its vaunted hood ornament, the Spirit of Ecstasy. The deal came after a heated 10-month bidding war with Volkswagen.
We have an agreement between...
VW paid a much steeper price of $700 million, winning the rest of the company, which included the Bentley brand, the Rolls and Bentley factory, plus all of the workers.
Volkswagen has apparently trumped its arch-rival BMW in the bidding war for Rolls-Royce.
Britain's Vickers Corporation says it has agreed to sell Rolls-Royce to Volkswagen for nearly $700 million.
Without a factory, a workforce, or even a car to build, BMW was starting from scratch. The 100-year-old Rolls-Royce brand had become a startup. After 5 years of preparation, building the factory, hiring craftsmen away from the local yacht building industry, and dreaming up a premium car, BMW introduced the Rolls-Royce Phantom. And though the engine and the chassis are built in Germany, Andrew Monahan says the Rolls is not a BMW Rolls.
The BMW Group is sort of hands-off, and it gives us a degree of independence. But in the background, we still have the mother company there. If we trip, if we fall, they can pick us up and they can give us the support that we need.
In 2009, BMW rolled out a smaller, sportier, and less expensive Rolls-Royce called the Ghost. Starting at a mere $250,000, the Ghost has been so popular that annual sales of the Rolls-Royce brand have more than doubled, up from nearly 1,000 to 2,700 cars sold each year. Owning a Rolls-Royce puts you in a pretty exclusive club, and unless you live in Beverly Hills, sightings are few and far between. I took a Ghost for a spin to see how the other half lives. The 2.5-ton car floats on the road, powered by 560 horses. As effortless as the drive is, I'm constantly aware that this is a $500,000 vehicle, and that's a little intimidating.
I don't know who's in control right now, me or the Rolls. I think it's probably the Rolls.
It's a benchmark of luxury lifestyles, and to build it takes 450 man-hours from start to finish. But the pièce de résistance comes before they are complete. As if each Spirit of Ecstasy is worth the $66 million paid for the rights, workers remove them from a safe before fastening them to the front end. But they're not done yet. Darwin Galt heads the test and finish department, the Rolls-Royce of quality control units.
We 100% road test, we 100% water test. We make sure that the customer doesn't experience any problems at all. We catch everything here.
Can I ask you why is this car dancing behind you?
Yeah, this is us checking the air suspension system.
Each and every Rolls endures road simulators, where testers are shaken silly while listening for any nasty loose bits.
What you're experiencing here stationary is how the car might behave when it's on a very rigorous and tough road.
So that saves the customer going into the shop a year from then saying, it kind of makes this rattling sound.
Absolutely. It's all about finding the problem or stopping the problem from ever getting to the customer. We're going way, way beyond what a customer would ever see.
Why bother then?
Well, it's the best car in the world, so we have to exceed expectations.
Expectations for affluent customers whose coutoured cars cost as much as a house. Up next, they may be fantasy machines, but once upon a time, the BMW dream almost ended.
Fair to say BMW came within days of being a unit of Mercedes?
If that day had gone a little bit different, then we would have been sold to Mercedes. It was really at the edge.
A return from the brink when we continue. For cars produced in BMW's U.S. factory, 90 robots apply 5 coats of paint in a process that takes about 12 hours. For other cars, not so long, like the one painted by Andy Warhol in half an hour.
You know, after he was done finishing the car, painting the car in 30 minutes time, with his fingers, he just wrote his signature on the wet paint with his own fingers.
Thomas Gerst has the curious title Head of Cultural Engagement. The Warhol car is his baby, as are 16 other BMW art cars painted since 1975. They're the work of famous artists from Roy Lichtenstein to David Hockney, and the first of them, intended to be seen in motion, were actually raced at Le Mans.
They're very dear to us because it's basically the only time that we engage in culture where we also have the product there.
Gerst's job is to associate BMW with the arts, just part of the company's efforts to market its brand to the wine and cheese crowd.
Cheers.
Sponsoring a Renaissance art exhibit in China, symphony performances around the world. Even an opera staged in BMW's Leipzig factory, ironically called Crash.
Was there a lot of horsepower? Horsepower, yes!
Over the years, BMW has also allowed its cars to be presented in art that's a bit more popular. But in providing wheels for James Bond, they went with a character who reflected the brand's sense of style.
This I'm particularly proud of. Behind the headlights, Stinger missiles.
Excellent. Just the thing for unwinding after a rough day at the office.
Manfred Grunert is the spokesman for BMW Classic, the unit that restores vintage BMWs. He's also the company's unofficial historian.
Bond is really a rough guy, but on the other hand, he is also someone who can laugh about himself. And this is something which fitted perfectly to BMW at that time.
The German founders of BMW would have been shocked. Imagine being associated with a British spy. And cars, when they started the company during World War I, they were making aircraft engines. After the war, the Allies put a stop to aircraft production. So, in 1929, BMW produced its first car, the Dixie, with its iconic blue and white emblem. By the mid-30s, the Nazi regime was rearming Germany, and BMW played a role.
BMW was an aircraft engine company in the Third Reich, and it was one part of the whole plan in the Third Reich, even for starting the Second World War.
By 1944, almost half of BMW's factory workers were forced labor from occupied countries, POWs, or concentration camp prisoners. The war left BMW's facilities in shambles. It took years to revive car production. Getting back on its feet, the company made a version of the 13-horsepower Isetta bubble car, which became very popular in some circles. Then came the 507, a car some consider the most beautiful roadster ever built.
Everyone could imagine kind of Playboy type sitting in it, driving around the Riviera or something like that. Apart from that, the car was a completely disaster because we only sold it 251 times. And
251?
51. I mean, and that was not the plan, of course.
No. You got one to Elvis.
Yeah, we got one to Elvis.
A stamp of approval from the king. BMW was also making big cars, and poor sales of those brought the company to the brink. In a fateful 1959 meeting, shareholders considered a takeover by rival Mercedes-Benz. It's fair to say BMW came within days of being a unit of Mercedes?
I would say if that day had gone a little bit different, then we would have been sold to Mercedes. It was really at the edge.
Industrialist Herbert Quandt came to the rescue with financial backing that's left his family in control to this day. Quandt's managers developed a breakthrough class of cars called sports sedans, stylish models with European performance handling, compact and affordable.
That car made us so famous. It's the BMW 2002. It was the way of that small, powerful, elegant car.
Flush with success, in 1993, the company bought the troubled British Rover Group. It was a disaster. Rover's operations were a mess, and by the time BMW got itself out of the deal in 2001, it had lost billions of dollars. The traumatized company says it's learned its lesson. No more quick expansion that might threaten BMW's reputation for premium cars.
The car retains a sense of aggressiveness.
Thomas Gerst is doing his best to enhance the company's premium approach, but even he's aware that his cultural engagements can bring out the cynics. Are there engineers at BMW or sales guys or designers who hear, Gerst and his old cultural unit? Did your eyes roll?
Oh, certainly.
Really?
You know, if I wouldn't run into obstacles, we would not do our core business right. If this were a cultural institution, I would be frightened. But it's a car company.
Some critics have dismissed BMWs as over-engineered, overhyped, and overpriced. Try telling that to their legions of imitators and buyers, drawn to a brand built on high-tech performance and that most elusive quality, status. I'm Carl Quintanilla. Thanks for watching.
Monday, fetching fashion for your pets.
Hey, girl.
The women driving 2 men in a truck and celebrities going cocoa for coconuts.
Madonna's drinking this stuff like crazy.
Ordinary people, extraordinary ideas. How I Made My Millions. Season premiere Monday, 9 Eastern on CNBC.